Everyone has challenges in their life every day. Some of them are small, but some of them are big, massive issues that can make or break you. And when you're a child, if you're lucky, you got your parents there to help and support you. But when you become an adult, you have to learn to cope with these things on your own.
Alright everybody, what's up? We're back. We're out here on the balcony because babe's inside asleep and room's a mess, you know. So today, we're talking about a couple of different things. So, I apologize for any background noise because again, we're outside on the balcony like this guy. But, first topic I want to talk about is MLMs. Now, what is an MLM? Well, I actually didn't know what MLM even stood for. I had only ever heard the term pyramid scheme, and I still didn't even know what the term really was. Like, I couldn't pick out a pyramid scheme. So, MLM stands for multi-level marketing, and it's a little self-explanatory, but if you're not careful, it can be a little misconstrued, and especially for the people in it, it can be very, very confusing. It's essentially a top-down pyramid. You could possibly think trickle-down economics, and the people at the top are the people who make the most money. They essentially sell a product to the people under them. The amount of people under them feed into their profits. So the more people you have under you, the more money you make. So the higher up you are on the pyramid, the more money you're going to make. Now, I was involved in an MLM, but my experience was a little bit different. So, I was in high school. I believe I hadn't just graduated yet. I was still in high school, and I got a letter in the mail for a summer job. Now, I should have paid attention and realized I should have looked into it a lot better than I did, because every question I asked the people who sent me the letter, everything was vague. I think I gave them a phone call back, and they're like, "Just come out here and we'll tell you everything it is about." I'm like, okay, well, what do I have? What do I have to lose? So I drive all the way out to where the place is. It's in this like sketchy, unmarked like business building with like a whole bunch of businesses in it. And we go up to like, I don't know, the 8th, 9th floor, I forget which floor it was on, and then you see vector marketing. So I opened the doors to vector marketing, and I'm still very confused. I received the letter in the mail saying this is some kind of sales job. I didn't really know much more other than that. And I get there, and it's all these, mainly dudes. There was like one woman at, I guess, like kind of check-in desk as a secretary, and I was easily the best dressed person there. I came in full suit, tie, dressed for the job you want, not the job you have, and I was jobless, so I wanted whatever job they had. But I look around, I'm seeing people in flip-flops, shorts, a t-shirt. So I think some dude walked in a tank top, and I was like, what the heck? You're here for a job interview. Who shows up for a job interview in flip-flops, shorts, and a tank top? So we go through the interviews, and they were essentially like group interviews, 2 or 3 of us at a time, and then lo and behold, we all got the job. That should have been red flag number one. Really, red flag number one should have been the fact that there was group interviews. Group interviews, that's a no-no. Red flag number one should have been the group interviews. Red flag number two is we all got the job, even the dude who shows up in flip-flops and a tank top. They proceed to give us, I believe, some type of training that day. So they tell us we all got the job, and we have 2 or 3 days of training. I don't fully remember. This was several years ago. And what the training consisted of is coming back up there and essentially being taught how to sell the product. Now, the product vector marketing sells is Cutco knives. That's the only way that I believe you can get Cutco. Um, I believe they are kind of a subsidiary of them, and that is how Cutco sells their knives, is through Vector Marketing. And Vector Marketing uses really, really shady tactics to, one, get employees, and two, sell you their knives. So in the training, they start by giving you a demonstration of what the knives can do, and it's basically the same demonstration they're going to teach you in about an hour. The demonstration consisted of taking rope and cutting it with the knife, and how easy it went, and cutting strips of leather and taking their little scissors and a penny, and you cut the penny with the scissors. Now, I didn't think this at the time, but when looking into lots of MLMs, they show you like these great things a product can do, but it's not in the environment that the product is really going to be used in. Like, I'm not going to be cutting a penny with my kitchen scissors. I'm not going to be cutting strips of leather. I'm going to be cutting meat. It can be a completely different ballpark when you're cutting through bone versus cutting through a couple of strips of leather that's not really thick, and I'm pretty sure was fake leather that they gave us. They show us the demonstration, and what they train us on is how to show that demonstration and essentially sell it to people. There was no real safety aspect of it. Granted, we weren't door-to-door salesmen, and we weren't cold call. You had to be recommended through somebody that you already demoed for. That's what we call it. We call it demonstrations. So there's really no aspect of safety, and you're not taught that. You're just like told to go enter some essentially random person's house. They say it's not random because you've been recommended through a reliable person that you knew. So like, you start out with your family and you spread out from there. No, 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 no. No, you don't do that. Don't. There was no, hey, if this looks sketchy, don't go in here, because you're going into somebody's house that you don't know with very sharp objects, granted in your hands, but that doesn't mean somebody else can't get them in their hands when they're demonstrating, because that's exactly what you do. You put the knife in somebody else's hand and say, here, you try. I don't know what this person's going to do, but they don't care about that. They only care about you selling their knives. Now, the knives, I've heard of mixed results from people who actually use them for their intended purposes, and that is cooking. They went through a whole bunch of other brands and were talking about how Cutco was so much better than Wusthof and Hinkles and these other brands I'd never heard of. You know, I'm poor and cheap. I know, like, Farberware, Faberware, whatever it is, the Walmart brand of knives you get. That's what I got in the kitchen right now, because I can't afford a $100 block of knives, let alone the $200-300 that Cutco can cost you, and even more with Wusthof, Hinkles sometimes. They claimed the reason that they used Vector Marketing to sell the knives was because it kept the cost low, so it's cheaper for the customer. While that can be okay, what Vector Marketing really wants you to do is to get more people underneath you. That's the big thing they sell you. For training, they told you to message every contact in your phone with a pre-scripted little message saying something along the lines of, hey, I had this awesome job opportunity. I think you'd be great at it. It's a sales job. Would you be interested? And that's what they say to you. That's it. When I was asking questions, that's all I got, was it's just a sales job. And I had people messaging me back, these people tried to rape me, they molested me, the sex trafficking. I heard like wild stuff, and I had even read up on some stuff before I ever went there, just out of curiosity. I had read similar things, and all in the training they were like, oh, that's all fake, There is no sexual harassment here. Ask anybody here. He pointed, I believe, to the woman that was a secretary and was like, we have women in here in the office. And that should have been red flag number, 3? I've lost count at this point. But I continued on, and I was looking around the room, and I saw everybody else who came from bigger families, ritzier areas than I came from, so they had a much bigger network of people, in their phone. The contacts in my phone, I had some close friends, and, really old acquaintances and whatnot, people I'd met years and years ago that I never really talked to anymore. And I was messaging these people, and I either got nothing back, or they were being like, no. And looking around, everybody else is, yeah, man, I just got like somebody up underneath me already, like they're gonna come join and whatnot. I was like, well, shit. Okay. First demo was to my grandmother, and I went to her house and demoed them for her and my papa. I went through the whole demo, knowing my grandmother can't really afford these knives. I was really just doing it to possibly get more names, because that's what they told me to do. Start with my family and I get more names. So I demo for her, and she's like, oh wow, the typical grandmother things. Oh, that's so great, you're gonna be so good at this and all that stuff. I go through the demo, and she actually wants to buy a knife. They sell the K-bar knives that the military uses. If the military buys through vector marketing, I don't know, but that's super shady. I did the demo, and they want you to constantly be in contact with essentially the person that's above you in the pyramid. And I'm sitting there, and he's calling me all in the middle of trying to do the things. That's like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be contacting you on the phone every 5 seconds? Or am I supposed to be trying to sell the things? Don't know. So I make the sale, and I'm trying to fill out the paperwork. And they gave us a little training on how to fill out the paperwork, but it was like super fast. It was like this, and this. Why they couldn't just have an app, I don't know. It was like 2015, 2016 at the time. We could have had an app for this. Shit, there was an app for everything, and there's an app for everything still, so why wasn't there an app for this? Don't know. So I'm filling out the paperwork, and I'm on the phone and making sure I get everything right. And what my boss, or whatever you want to call him, is trying to get me to do is upsell to my grandmother, who I know can't even afford this, and I don't know why she's buying it. But I'm like, dude, my grandmother can't afford a $300 thing of knives. She's like, are you sure? Yeah, dude, I know my grandmother, and she can't really afford these. I'm just kind of doing the demo. It'd be really nice if you could make a sale off this. I'm like, what an asshole. So it's whatever. I do the sale. My next demo is for my aunt. It's not my aunt that really likes to cook, it's her boyfriend. So I went to demo the knives for them. And the entire time I'm driving over there, constantly getting calls. Are you on the way to make another sale? Are you on the way to make another sale? Where are you at? Have you gotten there yet? I'm like, dude, I told you I will be there when I get there. But when I finally get there, her boyfriend isn't there. He's still at work, so we're waiting on him. And he doesn't show up because he's still at work and he's having to stay late. So what we do is I demo for my aunt, and she's like, oh, that's really cool, whatnot. She doesn't really know anything about knives, so it's whatever. And we drive over to her boyfriend's workplace because he's on break, and I kind of demo the knives for him in the car. And he's like, oh, I really like these. I'd like to give me a set. And I tried to fill out the paperwork, and these cars are so loud. I'm so sorry. So I demo the knives for her boyfriend in the car, and he's like, oh, these are really great. I'd like to give me a set. And I'm filling out the paperwork, and I think I got it all right. I'm on the phone. Are you selling? Are you upselling? Do they want this or they want that? Oh man, that's really great. They're like giving you this pep talk. I don't know what it is. It's really annoying, is what it is. And the whole time I was sitting there waiting for my aunt's boyfriend to get there, nothing but phone calls. Have you made a sale yet? Are you on your way to your next one? I'm like, dude, I'm just like chilling with my aunt right now. It's like, oh, okay. Hey man, you made a sale? You want to wait your next one? I literally just told you the last phone call you gave me 10 minutes ago that I'm chilling with my aunt right now. They give zero as to whether or not you have a life. They just want you to sell, 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 sell. Something else I also want to mention that I may not have mentioned in the beginning is I didn't have to pay for my kit, so that's one area where most MLMs will get you, is you have to pay for your starter kit. What they provided for us, I think some other branches of vector marketing do make you pay like $100 for the kit, but ours, they didn't make us pay at all. They just gave it to us with the understanding that we would return it upon ever leaving the job. So I finished my aunt's sale, and I go home, and it's probably 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. I'm still receiving phone call after phone call after phone call asking how many sales I got. Am I going to make more sales tomorrow? What's my game plan for tomorrow? And I was like, dude, I'm going to like chill and play video games tomorrow, because I was under the impression that I could do this whole thing whenever I wanted. This wasn't a job where I had to, work on the clock, but they're wanting me to sell 24/7. So finally, at this point, I'm fed up. I'm only 3 days in. I'm fed up. I'm done. I'm tired of all the phone calls. It's essentially harassment. I'm eating dinner with my family, and I get phone calls about selling your damn knives. So I go back up to this shady ass building the next day where the heat is blaring ass hot because they don't know how to have an AC either. And I walk up to the head dude at the marketing place. I slap my kid on the floor, on his table, and I go, I'm done. So I've been on the job, for a while now. He goes, yeah, 3 days. Okay, yeah, 3 days, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired of all the phone calls. I dropped it, walked out the door, left, drove home. Never even thought about it again. But what's really harmful in what vector marketing is doing is they're targeting high school kids. They're using all these kids to sell their knives, and they're being super duper shady about it. They don't tell you that that unless you have good networking skills, or you already have a good base network of people underneath you that you're not really going to do anything. So this was my... Alright, my phone ran out of storage, and sadly we lost the last couple minutes of what I said. But what I was saying was, these MLM companies are targeting young people, especially young women. And the reason I want to talk about all this today is because during this pandemic, these women and young adults are being targeted more than ever. Your T-Tox isn't going to help anything. If anything, it hurts. Your bars aren't going to cure cancer. Your essential oils aren't going to do anything but make the house smell better. So quit believing the crap. Quit spreading lies that this will help you and restore whatever it is you're promising, because it won't. It simply won't. Now, along with this whole corona thing, people are spreading so much fake shit online. Alright, look, I don't like it either. I'm considered an essential worker. Oh my god, it's such a big deal. No, it's really not, okay? You need to take this seriously. Yeah, it's not this big, deadly virus like the media claims it to be, because they've blown it completely out of proportion. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to be concerned. And you definitely should be wearing your mask when you're out in public around other people. And you should always stay 6 feet away. I've been seeing so much stuff online. People, this is fake. There is no Rona. And here comes the chat.
I don't notice. I got no. You was with like 4 girls that night, and I just remember you introducing me to her with the other girls. I'm real good.
Alright. Chat is gone. I think. Okay, chat is gone. Spreading all this fakeness and false news and lies, it's not doing anything but hurting the people who are actually suffering from corona.
There are people who actually are in ICU. My girlfriend held the hand of an older man whose wife is in ICU, and he was crying while getting tested for corona. That's not okay to say it's fake, because it's not. It's very real. And unless you can provide me with some serious evidence and not some Daily Mail post or whatever bullshit website you're getting stuff from that shows me some real proof that this is made up or it's a government thing, or if, like the post I saw on Facebook the other day saying the only way they could predict a second wave is if this was all planned. No. Now, I'm not the most scientific person out there, if that's even a word, but I do know a little bit about how this stuff works. There are many types of coronavirus, and they have been around for many years. This is not the first time a coronavirus has appeared, like many people believe, and we're constantly learning new information every single day. So to say that, oh, they're thinking this one day and now they're saying this the next day, it's like, well, yeah, because we're coming up with new information. We're not coming up with new information, we're finding out new information about the virus. So stop spreading lies. It's not funny to hit the share button on something like that, whether it makes you chuckle or not. People's lives are on the line. And yes, it's not super deadly. Yes, I know the survival rate is really high, but it's the infectivity that we need to be watching out for, because it's a very infectious disease, and that's why we're on this quarantine. Not necessarily because it's deadly, but because it's so infectious, it could get many, many, many people. Alabama, the state I'm from and currently living in, has started opening back up, and I've seen the numbers jump higher and higher simply because we're around more people again. Heck, at my apartment, there was a whole Memorial Day party of about like 30 people down there at the pool. They weren't 6 feet apart, and they're probably all gonna have the Rona now. I don't know. They may not have it, but you can't be doing these types of things. Stay 6 feet away, wear your mask. I don't like it either. I don't like going places with a mask. It irritates my face, it fogs my glasses up, but it doesn't matter. You wear your mask, I wear my mask, stay safe, and I love you guys. Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to talk about what it truly means to be vulnerable, suicide and my personal story, feeling lost in Christianity and Christians and judgment. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace.